What is the most spicy life advice everyone should know? Story 1. You should always keep a couple of rubbers handy in your wallet, purse, pocket, or wherever. Besides the obvious reasons of playing it safe, avoiding surprises, and staying healthy, these little lifesavers are priceless. In a tight spot, a particular item comes to the rescue. Yes, the humble rubber. It's like a superhero in your pocket. Not only does it have the usual role of preventing certain situations, but it steps up in a survival scenario. Imagine it can double as a water storage holding up to a full liter. Need fire? Light one up and it'll blaze hot enough to ignite damp wood. Just steer clear of those fumes. Need to tie something up? Forget about cords, just stretch one out and tie a knot. Slip your hand in and voila, an instant sanitary glove. Slide it over your foot beneath the sock for blister protection or to shield a cut from the elements. Blow it up and turn it into a float for a fishing hook. It can even play the part of a makeshift tourniquet. Protect your phone, camera, flares, or anything else from the wet with one of these. And the best part? They're budget-friendly. Now, gentlemen, if you're aiming for a more extended performance in bed, here's another handy tip. When you sense you're reaching cloud 9, ease up on those glutes and quads. It really boosts your chances of prolonging the experience, so the next time you're on the brink, be mindful of how tense your legs and glutes are. It will make a world of difference. It did for me. Wow, who knew rubbers could be so handy? For outdoorsmen out there, you better bring a box on your next hiking trip. Story 2. The lady's intimate anatomy is like a mysterious journey that begins from the beam, the visible part, and wraps around the opening. It responds well to gentle touches, but it's not an area for sparking flames. Start with circles and pay attention to cues. Positioned front and center under the hood, it's made of the same stuff as the male counterpart, giving guys an idea of its sensitivity. Contrary to some beliefs, the lady bits don't loosen up from experience. If you think she's too loose, it's likely because she's super into what's happening. Things expand when there's excitement. Apologies, guys, if you've only encountered tight, dry situations, there might be room for improvement on your part. It can't be controlled by flexing certain muscles, but who wants to keep everything tight all the time? It gets exhausting. The myth of the cherry as a freshness seal needs debunking also. It can be popped by various means, including a routine checkup with a gynecologist. And it doesn't just vanish. It might tear, but it still exists. Cherries naturally have holes, and if there isn't one, it's medically removed. Not everyone has one that's noticeable anyway. Now, most women aren't thrilled about things jabbing into the and it's not an easy target. Hitting that spot can be painful, and big things aren't always as great as they might seem. Many women can't reach the peak just from the Grand Slam alone. That's where the bean comes into play. Remember how it's similar to the male counterpart? It enjoys a good rub, just like its counterpart, so give it some attention. Lastly, there are 3 openings down there. We don't take a whiz from the V. Controlling periods is beyond our powers, so that's where tampons, menstrual cups, and pads come in. And no, we don't find it exciting to insert dry cotton or silicone up there. If tampons make you uneasy, refer to the section about the bean. Story 3. I've picked up the habit of checking in with the women I end up spending intimate moments with. It's simple. I either ask them about their preferences or suggest they guide me as we get started. This gesture communicates care, and so far, it hasn't turned anyone off. It allows her to take the lead. Result, by guide me, I don't mean taking full control, just giving a little direction. A bit to the left, a bit to the right. Show me where she prefers it, guide my hand with a nudge or a gentle press, and so on. While I pay attention to her reactions, I can't predict exactly what feels good for her since everyone's different. Take, for instance, the current girl I'm seeing. She appreciates a more vigorous touch, lots of pressure and friction. On the flip side, the previous person I was with needed a gentler touch. There's no shame in asking about preferences or suggesting improvements. It's perfectly okay to express what might make the experience better. The girl I'm currently with, for instance, I observed her likes and dislikes through experimentation and teasing. It was clear she was enjoying what I was doing, and at one point she exclaimed, "Everything you're doing is perfect, but move your right hand a bit more to the left." I adjusted accordingly, and she experienced an intense moment not long after. Story 4. Bidets are very useful, not just for basic cleanliness, but also as a surprisingly versatile hygiene solution. The key lies in discovering the right angle and pressure, almost like you're navigating a regular moment on the throne. If you're on the receiving end from the back, the same tip applies. Turn off the water, hold it in for a moment, then release it. This technique can be especially useful for those dealing with bathroom-related issues or for anyone seeking an extra boost of cleanliness. However, a word of caution. Moderation is key when adjusting the water pressure to avoid any discomfort. Now, ladies, if you're navigating that time of the month, consider embracing the world of cups. While it might take a bit of trial and error to find the right fit, and there's a learning curve for insertion and removal, the comfort and convenience they offer can be truly remarkable. These cups have an extended lifespan and significantly reduce waste compared to traditional pads or tampons. And for easy sanitizing, ditch the pot of boiling water, opt for baby bottle sanitizing bags. Just add a bit of water in the cup, then microwave. Simple and hassle-free. While period pants are an alternative, for me, cups have proven to be the standout choice. Now, on to a daily hygiene hack, baby wipes. These aren't just reserved for infants, they're excellent for all-purpose wet wipes. Perfect for camping trips or those nights when a full shower seems too daunting. A quick wipe under your pits and through your bits and you're refreshed and ready for another day. Story 5. Here's a two-part piece of advice that goes hand in hand. First, never feel obligated to engage in any intimate activity that makes you uncomfortable just because someone is pushing you. If it's an anxiety you're open to working through with that person, that's okay and requires lots of honest communication. However, stand your ground if it's something you're firmly against. Second, and equally important, don't be that kind of partner who coerces your significant other into a physical act they're not even comfortable with. If there's unease, communicate, understand their perspective, and work through it together. But crucially, avoid pressuring anyone. Enthusiastic consent is the key to intimacy, whether it's a casual encounter or a committed relationship, monogamous or polygamous. This advice holds true regardless of the gender dynamic. I've seen men pressuring women, women pressuring men, same-gender couples facing this issue, and so on. Don't assume you're exempt just because you think you're different. Be a considerate partner. Oh yeah, man, if you can't get a yes from your partner, then maybe you can just watch Netflix, eat pizza, and literally chill. No need to get weird about it, right? Story 6. The shape of a woman's anatomy has absolutely nothing to do with her level of experience or whether she's inexperienced. The only factor at play here is genetics, and they come in all shapes and sizes. While there might be some changes during early puberty, it's unrelated to intimate matters or touching the area. The same goes for chests. Intimacy doesn't alter them. Age, weight, hormones, possibly from medication, and pregnancy can, but not romantic encounters. Contrary to popular belief, there isn't a special hormone released in a woman's body once she's romantically active that causes physical changes. Except perhaps for the breaking of the proverbial cherry, if it's still intact, a woman's body remains unaffected by intimacy. The natural processes of aging and puberty bring changes, not the loss of chastity. Inexperience isn't a physical attribute, it's a concept. You don't lose it without engaging in romantic encounters, and the idea that you can lose it by using a piece of cotton is absurd. Speaking of tampons, they're not designed for pleasure at all. Story 7. If you find yourself in a disagreement, it's best to steer clear of engaging in a full-blown brawl if possible. Ideally, try to maneuver around them in a circular motion, preferably away from their dominant hand. Then grab onto their shirt near their stronger shoulder or collar, give a firm pull down, and maintain your grip. Throw some punches at the junction of their neck and shoulders and in the facial region, being mindful not to strike their skull. Inflicting pain early and consistently increases the chances of bringing a swift end to the situation. I don't condone violence, and I don't take responsibility for anyone else's actions. If you can make a run for it, that's probably the best course of action. The primary focus here is on self-preservation. Given the attention this has garnered, it's crucial to stress that nobody should resort to physical altercations if there's any way to avoid them. Actions always have consequences, and you should be prepared for whatever follows a disagreement. Additionally, remember that self-defense must both be necessary and proportionate to the threat. Claiming self-defense doesn't hold if you overpower someone like a rag doll. That's not how it works in most states or countries. Story 8. Washcloths for your backside? Really useful. Grab a set of 6 inches by 6 inches washcloths and keep one in your shower at all times. Use a bit of body soap and specifically clean your backside, between and under your cheeks. While some might find this common knowledge, many are unaware as it falls under the category of intimate life advice that doesn't often come up. and make it a routine to clean your backside every day. You'll notice a significant difference. However, in the comments, I've observed some folks taking personal offense at the notion that proper cleansing involves more than just your hands or fingers. No offense intended, my friends. I just prefer not to directly touch mine if I can avoid it. That's a pretty solid life hack. And let me tell you, washcloths are also way better than tissues. They wipe away the germs and are good for the planet. If you think knowing these kinds of things is very important, then remember to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel today. Right now, it really does help me out. Thank you. Story 9. Absolutely no to romantic moments in a hot tub. And that's not just advice for the pool guy. Scrub every nook and cranny. If it has a fold, a flap, or crevice, make sure it's spick and span. Yes, that includes cleaning between the cheeks and giving attention to the spaces between your toes. Contrary to what movies suggest, a sweaty encounter isn't all that appealing. What's truly hot? A refreshing shower right before. Remember, if you can catch a whiff, others can too, and then some. For the hairy gentleman out there, consider draping a sheet over your chest before she rests her head on it. Try relaxing with your face in a furry landscape. Keep your focus on her and you won't be a bother. Unless, of course, you happen to be a girl too. Can't say exactly how that dynamic works. She might need a bit of assistance to reach that point, and it doesn't say anything about your manhood. Surprisingly, quite a number of folks seem to appreciate the appeal of a hairy chest. It's more situational than I initially thought. Story 10. This is mainly a message for younger women and girls. I want to emphasize that I absolutely guarantee that your intimate part is not unusual in shape or color. Every girl is unique. Some girls have a fuller appearance, while others may be more petite. Inner parts vary in length, and beans come in different sizes. Colors range from red and pale to very dark. All these variations, well, they're 100% normal. Just like a man's anatomy, intimate parts come in diverse shapes, sizes, and colors. So don't feel ashamed of your body because it doesn't mirror the person in an adult video you watched recently or match the art you saw online. I assure you that yours is perfectly fine just as it is. If you're unsure and want a second opinion, it's okay to talk to a doctor. They're there to help, and if there's genuinely something wrong, they're the best person to identify and assist you. It's a win-win, ladies. And please, if someone ever tries to shame you for having a different one, remember, you aren't the issue. They're likely inexperienced anyway and haven't encountered a variety of real-life examples. Besides, they're just plain ignorant. Story 11. If you find it challenging to openly discuss your preferences or fear potential embarrassment if your partner isn't into the same things, there are various fantasy tests that you and your partner can take. Each of you takes the test separately, and you only get to see the results you both match on. Choose one that is detailed enough for your needs and has safeguards against spamming everything just to discover each other's preferences. Also, pay attention to the vibes in bed, not the room in this case. If your partner is enjoying a particular thing, then stick with it. Don't attempt to outdo yourself or try new things. If it's working for them, just go with the flow. If you're unsure, feel free to ask. However, ladies, if a guy asks about his performance, be honest. Let him know if it's not enjoyable and suggest trying something else or guide him on what he should be doing. Once you find a happy medium, you'll likely find yourself spending more time in the bedroom than any other room. Story 12. Keep your nails trimmed and filed. Freshly cut nails can be sharp and dangerous, so it's important to file them down to a smooth finish. You can use an emery board or a file attachment on your nail trimmer. Bonus tip, denim can also be used to smooth out rough nails. Just rub a piece of denim over your nails after trimming and filing. Now, guys, pay attention. Give the family jewels a check from time to time, making sure there are no weird lumps or discomfort, and if you do notice something off, don't procrastinate, get it checked out. Source: Cancer Survivor. Word: checking those nuts regularly for purely medical reasons is a must. Better be safe than sorry. Story 13. If you're unsure about what to say for pillow talk during an intimate moment, follow this creative formula until you feel at ease improvising on it. Express your intentions. I'm going to love our time together. Or, I'm going to enjoy that like it's a magical experience. Describe your current actions. I'm loving our time together. Or, I'm enjoying it like it's the fantasy I always dreamed of. Reflect on what just happened. I just made your wishes come true. Or, I just enjoyed that like it was the last adventure out of town. Or whatever suits your fancy. Also, men making a bit of noise is appealing. Feel free to express delight when we do things you enjoy. It adds a touch of sexy and helps us understand which techniques bring you the most joy. Story 14. For my straight dudes out there, incorporating gadgets with and on your partners doesn't reduce your manliness. You're not in a competition with her toys. They're tools crafted to bring her joy efficiently and without causing any strain for you or for her. Take a cue from Batman. He's got a tool for every situation, so be like Batman. And when it comes to your toys, wrap them up in rubber. It not only makes cleanup a breeze, but also shields your body from the not-so-great stuff present in mainstream toys. Ever wonder why they're labeled novelty use only? Many cut corners on ingredients, and that stuff can cause harm. Even better, make use of your expired rubber since it's less crucial if they don't perform at 100%. This way, you're not tossing them out unused. Story 15. Avoid getting tips from adult content since most of what they do is more about putting on a show than truly feeling good. And if you're thinking of learning from amateur content, be cautious about using certain websites as they lack proper age verification and consent checks. There's a chance someone you're watching might be too young, involved in unlawful activities, or their content might be uploaded without permission. Story 16. For those with the lady bits, hitting a home run doesn't always bring home a trophy. It's totally normal if the fireworks don't happen from that alone. Also, when it comes to scented things, pads, tampons, etc., it's usually a bit of a stinker. They can cause issues like infections or rashes, especially for those with sensitive skin. Keep it odor-free or consider going for a cup if you're feeling adventurous. Oh, and here's another tip. Most latex rubbers, they don't mix well with oil-based lube, so splash on some water-based magic instead. I guess maybe you can picture it like this. Getting it on with girls is like driving a manual car, while we guys run on automatic. We're just built differently. Story 17. Before engaging in any activities, make sure to freshen up in the shower. Tiny particles like glitter, machine oils, and metal slivers picked up from work can hitch a ride on your clothes and end up in unexpected places. I learned this the hard way when my partner, who works with metals in a factory, brought home an unwelcome surprise. Encountering something unexpected in the midst of things can really kill the mood. Luckily, it wasn't a toxic shock reaction. Also, avoid certain activities if your partner has recently consumed peppers. I heard a cautionary tale about a person who ate jalapenos before engaging in intimate acts, and an undigested seed caused some complications for the other person involved. The guy initially thought it was until they discovered the seed during an examination. Story 18. Ladies, if you've entered menopause, stopped getting your monthly visitor, and then unexpectedly started seeing red again, do not brush it off. This could be a sign of something serious like cancer. Many women dismiss it, assuming it's just a common occurrence. Additionally, be aware that antibiotics can interfere with your birth control, potentially leading to an unplanned pregnancy. Not all antibiotics have this effect, but it is particularly true for rifampin, also known as Rifadin and Rimactane. This drug can impact not only the pill, but other forms of contraception, like the ring. Stay informed about the potential interactions. Story 19. Consider cutting back on consuming adult content. In my younger days, I used to watch a fairly good amount, and as I became involved romantically, I noticed it led to unrealistic expectations. Trying to match up to the characters in those movies made me feel insecure. Not only that, but it made me less sensitive to the human form, making it harder to find genuine excitement with my partners. There were moments when I'd lose momentum, leaving my partner feeling a bit unappreciated and honestly making me feel not quite up to par. Overcoming these hurdles required a supportive partner and a commitment to change. I get that it's not easy to completely break the habit, but reducing how much you engage with it can still make a significant difference. Story 20. If you're feeling a bit inexperienced in the intimacy department, don't hesitate to seek guidance on the internet. Whether it's about navigating certain situations or trying out different things, the internet is a valuable resource that can provide helpful insights. However, if you decide to look something up, avoid using adult videos as a source of information. Almost everything in them is staged, and you won't gain any real insights. Trying to learn about romance from those sources is like trying to be a cop by watching NCIS. Yeah, man, you don't want to get disappointed by imitating your favorite stars. Story 21. From personal experience? Wait. The first person I was involved with hasn't talked to me in 3 years, and for good reason. We were naive sophomores in high school, and we didn't need that level of closeness in our relationship. I'd strongly advise waiting for someone you trust and for a time when both of you feel ready for it. From my perspective, always use protection, guys, even if she mentions she prefers without it. There are safeguards specifically designed to enhance the experience for both partners while providing protection against potential issues. Seriously, consider taking precautions. Story 22. If you ever find yourself needing to insert a key into a lock in the dark, hold the key so that your thumb runs along its length, and let the tip of your thumb extend slightly past the end of the key. This way, you can locate the keyhole by touch and guide the key in effortlessly. This technique also works when plugging a cable into your guitar without looking and in other similar situations. Story 23. Always hold and comfort your partner after intimate moments. I'm not talking about the weak move of lying on your back and reaching for your phone while your significant other rests on your shoulder. I mean spending quality time together afterward. This is especially crucial if you're into more intense and energetic activities, because the energy drop-off afterward can be challenging without the support of the other person. I'll emphasize, what worked with a previous partner might not work with a new one. Communication is key. Talk to each other. You might discover shared preferences that you're both too hesitant to express. Be open and honest about your connection, and it will enhance your understanding. Taking care of each other emotionally is important too. Using harsh language without proper emotional care can cause strain in a relationship. If you're going to be playful, make sure to provide emotional support to your partner as well. Yep, I bet cuddling after some steamy romance is like taking a cold shower after a sauna. What a cool way to unwind. Hey, thanks for sticking with me until the end of this video. Be sure to check out What's a Secret You'll Never Tell Your Partner? Story 5 was intense, and I'll see you there.